want to talk about how then we take our power back and say, hey, we find the food and we decide and make a decision that we want to live a healthier life. So with that said, let's talk. Hello, how you doing, Damon?
Hey, how you doing? It's great to be here. It's great to be alive.
Yes.
In 2020.
Yes. And you're looking amazing. You have been working out in that treadmill.
Yes. Yes.
I've been watching those videos.
Yes.
It got me on the treadmill.
Good.
You know, I've been on the treadmill maybe once or twice for like about a day or two, and I actually went back this time. Like, I'm almost 50.
Well, yeah. We have to do it.
It's never too late, though.
No. You have to do it even more once you cross that threshold of 50. Your body changes. Trust me, I know.
It's no joke, man.
Yeah, I know.
So, Damon, who are you? Who are you? So if people ask you, who are you? What do you say?
I say I'm your brother.
Mm.
You know, I am a child of a woman who dedicated her life to raising me.
Mm-hmm.
I am a son of a black man who like many black men, fell victim to chronic diseases and illnesses and passed away. I am a product of my environment growing up in Greenburgh, New York. And I am a product of being under the teachings of the most honorable Louis Farrakhan and from the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. So, you know, I'm a black man who cares about his community, who is a father, a husband, a grandfather, and I'm just trying to do my part in what the universe allows me to do. And also, as AJ always remind me, and I am a publisher of Black Westchester magazine. You know.
So because you know, here's what I find amazing about your answer right now is that, and one that I have to sort of train my brain to answer that way, and that is when people say, "Who are you?" A lot of people answer with what they do. Right. Right. They say,
"I'm a doctor.
I'm a doctor."
Yeah, that's not.
All right.
Right.
So I still don't know what you do, right? But that's not the question I asked, is it? I asked, who are you?
Who am I?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's different from what I do.
Yes.
Right. I am a 31-year correction officer, law enforcement, what they call law enforcement professional. For 31 years at the Westchester County Department of Corrections. I have been blessed to travel the world to talk about police and community relations. That is what pays the bills. You know, but being in law enforcement opened my eyes even more to the ills of our community. Seeing young black men and women come within the county jail and having young black men tell me that I was more of a father than their father. Because, not like many, but what black officers should do is take time and be an example to them. Not because we wear the badge and the blue uniform, because we are black men. And we have a responsibility because our community fought for us to get the job. So when we are able to get the job, we have to be true leaders in our community, not oppressors. We can't fall victim of the system. Our consciousness must be sharpened even more to help our community.
To help our community. And you know, you okay, you're also an author. I want to get out the way this part, you know, the introduction part, because there's many sides to what you do, but they all kind of tie together to empowering your community.
Absolutely.
So you have a new book coming out soon.
Yes.
And what is the title of the book?
The Empowering Benefits of Detoxing, Cleansing, and Eating Clean.
And what is eating clean?
Eating clean is eating food from the earth. Eating clean is eating fruits and vegetables, nuts and legumes. Eating clean is not eating any processed foods. Eating clean is drinking water. Water is one of the best things for our body. Our body is over 70% water, so it needs water. We usually do not drink enough water. Men,
Definitely not. I don't drink enough water.
A lot of us don't. Men need to drink at least 3.5 liters
A day.
a day. Women, it's like 2.9.
Wow.
So I tell my wife every day. I text her, drink water. We must hydrate. That's living clean, and and not polluting our bodies. A lot of us smoke, a lot of us drink. I like to drink wine. I've cut back on the liquor, right, and all the pollutions they put in your body, because we want to eat clean, because we want our body. Our body is so fascinating because it could heal itself, right? But you have to put the right foods in it.
So, and my follow-up question was going to be that. So, what happens to your body when you eat clean? I guess the answer is you have a greater ability to heal
Absolutely.
yourself.
Absolutely. You lose weight, you get energy, your eyes clear, you clean out your brain, right? You won't have brain fog. You think differently when you eat clean, right? And it's a more spiritual connection. I have a saying that God is in your vegetables.
I love that. I read that comment. I was like, what? I said I've been giving vegetables to my kids since they were infants.
Exactly.
And
right?
I was feeling bad. Let me tell you something about that comment. I was feeling bad about the fact that, I used to go to church. And then I have 3 kids and I stopped going to church much, And then I was in Mount Vernon, I went and visited churches and I didn't feel really connecting with any place. And I stopped going. So consequently, my kids were not raised in the church.
Right.
So I was feeling bad about that, But then when you said God is in the vegetables,
that's right.
I said, oh, I'll be darned. I wasn't taking them to church every Sunday, but I was feeding them God every morning, every day.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
That made me feel better and saying, you know what?
You was getting them close to God.
Yes, I was getting them
Absolutely.
close. They eat very healthy. They eat all their vegetables and fruits, and it's because their first thing that they taste at 6 weeks old was, spinach and
exactly
and greens.
Exactly. And there's electricity, right, in the food, because our body produces electricity also.
Wow.
Right. So there's a frequency, which I say is the God frequency, that it needs to be charged up each day.
And so you also founded or your initiative with food and eating healthy, plant-based.
Plant-based power.
And then you have, what is it, Black-tastic?
Be Black-tastic.
Yes.
Right. Be Black-tastic is Black people claiming themselves to be fantastic. Right. It is us arriving on a level of consciousness, that we could take care of our community. We could be better, we could be healthier people, right? And when we're healthier people, we're Black-tastic, right? It's fantastic, on the Black hand side.
On the Black side. So now that we made a proper introduction and see all that you're doing, we want to talk about food justice, right? And what is it? What is food justice?
Food justice is no different than having equality, being on an equal level of all other communities. If you look in many of the Black or poor communities throughout the nation, they are impoverished. They do not get the same fresh fruits as white neighborhoods do. Right? So, we want food justice, meaning we want the equal quality of food within our communities. We don't want all the time. We don't need so many fast food restaurants
No.
in our community. You know, we don't need that. Well, you know, we need fresh fruits and vegetables in our community. But we also, in food justice, we also need to be taught,
Right.
you know, to eat the right foods.
Because how do we? I mean, there's so much here to talk about, but because you go to you know, 4th Avenue, let's say, and you, like, I want to pick some mangoes and I want to get some organic stuff. Sometimes I can't find organic stuff.
Right, because they don't believe black people eat organic. Right, we still are ignorant to what organic is. You know,
organic means that it's not. Doesn't have all these pesticides,
exactly.
and it grew naturally from the ground.
Yes.
And then you can eat it clean, free
Exactly.
of the
Of all
preservatives
the
and pesticides, right?
Exactly, but if you put organic stuff on a black folks table, they say get it out of here like it's something different, you know. But they'll eat the regular tomato sauce,
Right.
You know, that is filled with the pesticides and filled with everything else. So you know, food justice is part of educating, right? We have to educate, you know, our community. What's the difference in organic and what's the difference in regular?
Now, could it be that, so if I go to this market and I'm looking for, first of all, I would like to live in a place where every corner I turn, I see greens, you know, like I want to see greens, I want to see reds, I want to see oranges. I mean, that means that I see all the colors and it looks very vibrant, right? Mm-hmm. But there's a cost to that, right? So if we're not buying all the organic stuff, then the market can't really keep it there and can't keep it fresh. So
right.
If we're not finding those, it's because they can't survive.
Right.
Right?
Right. Because we're not buying it.
Right.
But because we're not educated on it. And there's a stigma in the black community about organic food.
Is there?
Absolutely.
You know, when I had my preschool, I was offering all organic, and it was perceived as though like I was trying to be some bougie person or something.
Some old bougie Negro that trying to give us this, you know, this Negro here trying to give me some organic. Who this Negro thinks she is?
Yeah, I was like, oh, come on.
Giving me some
organic stuff. I had organic pasta, organic apple juice, organic, you know, all this organic stuff. And it was like, you know what, you know, can you pay less for childcare so that I don't need to have organic? Can you just charge us? Actually, I'm actually not charging more for daycare for the organic. It's just I didn't want my kids not to eat. You know, I want them to eat the same thing.
Exactly. But that's the lack of the education of what organic is.
So then if we have a lack of education, we can go back to then equality. Why don't we have that education?
Because we were culturally conditioned to eat the wrong food from us being slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, you know, we call it soul food, but it's really slave food.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And, you know, and many people that's watching and people that's listening, and when I say slave food, because the slaves had to eat the leftovers from the slave master. Mm-hmm. And what they did over the years, they perfected it into food, where we call it soul food. But that's not real soul food, that's slave food, right? Real soul food is the food that comes up out of the ground. Real soul food.
It's organic food that feeds your soul and your body.
Exactly. It comes from the soil, right? So that's real. That's real soul food. Now, but people are being creative now, and they're learning how to cook, make what traditional soul food dishes, plant-based and vegan, right? That tastes very good.
So, are we not supposed to eat meat?
We shouldn't. Your body is not made to digest meat.
Now, listen. I have a hard time getting rid of the habit of eating a fat steak. I did vegan for like a summer. And it was like, you would think I was on heroin or something. I needed that piece of steak.
Exactly.
And then it was so heavy on my body, like my body couldn't really hardly take it.
Right, because
after 3 months
we're not made. Dr. Milton Mills, and anybody that's listening, please go on YouTube and just put in a search for Dr. Milton Mills. He is one of the most experts in talking about why our body is not conditioned to eat meat. That
That's Dr. Mills.
Dr. Milton
Mills.
Yes, please. Anybody that's watching, just go on YouTube and pull up Dr. Milton Mills, and he could go a lot deeper than I can go. But I'm going to give it to you simple. Our body's not made
to eat meat.
To eat meat.
So now here's the thing. So now if what we were fed were slave foods and we were conditioned to eat basically
the leftovers,
the junk, and we have to retrain the mind to do that. We have to be conscious about doing that. Where do we start? Because locally, I've always had issues with, say, for example, the foods in the schools. I mean, we could do something as a parent and what we do at home. But then you send your child to school and the school spend 6 hours a day with your child. They may eat breakfast, lunch, and snacks. And as someone who had a preschool, I said, this is how I can make a great impact is by making sure that the kids can taste some really good, healthy foods. Right. To which parents often wanted to come and eat at the daycare. But when you go to school, and I saw what they were getting fed in school, it's like, even like when they give away the food, how during the pandemic you had to come pick up the food and stuff. It's like we went to pick up the bag of food that they had, and they had this cheese that didn't, and the slice of bread, and then the little carton of milk, and it's like my kids are like, Mommy, could you just give it to somebody who really can eat it?
I think we have to, as parents, if the school system refuses to change the dietary guidelines of the school system, the parents just have to make their kids food. Take it back to the days where lunch boxes and fixing the sandwiches, the proper food for the kids. For the kids.
What if parents can afford to do that? You think there are parents that can afford to do that? Okay.
Well, then their kids shouldn't have Yeezys on that cost $600. Ooh. See, we like to, as black folks, we like to gloss on the outside. Right? We like the outside glossing. But we're constipated on the inside because we're not eating the right foods. So I think our priorities are twisted, because if our children could have Jordans and Yeezys and different and pants that cost $400-500, we could take the time out and spend some money on some proper foods.
And this is where you talk about where we can take our power back, and you have that, what I think is an amazing quote that says, Black lives
must matter to Black people
first.
And I must say, the first person to coin that was the late great Minister Hafiz Muhammad. Okay. Got to give respect due to him. But I am honored to continue to talk about that. And yes, Black lives must matter to Black people first. I am the first one to be on the line to talk about police brutality and police misconduct and police accountability. But I'm also on the line saying if we're going to say Black lives matter to white people, we must also internalize Black lives matter to us. And the best way we could say Black lives matter to us is eating better, is reversing chronic illnesses, high blood pressure, hypertension, ADHD, right? We wonder why a lot of our kids are on these medications when the only thing the parent has to do is change their diet. Change their diet. So
gluten-free.
Exactly. Straight plant-based. Change your diet. Get your kid and get your kids some sleep, right?
When we come back, we're going to continue talking about food justice and how we take our power back, and then what do we do locally? Where do we get our foods? What is the guidelines? What must we do if we are in a low-income we earn a little bit. We're in a low-income neighborhood. What do? When we come back, food justice with Damon K. Jones. So we are live on Facebook. We continue having the conversation, but there's so many things. I mean, I started doing this radio show. I think it's going to be on 2 years now, but it's amazing the kind of crap that you get people comment or inbox you on when you really actually say what you really think.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you wish that you would get more support for the things that, when you actually speak your mind and you speak what you feel that our community should do. And I say our community, and I say, by the way, because sometimes people say, well, you're not really black, you're from Dominican Republic and all that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and I have to, I must tell you, though, that it's always an issue for me. In my mind, though, I know right. I'm trying to, because I know, and inevitably I'll get it. I'm talking to somebody and say, well, we black people, and then I'll get a message. Somebody says, why you keep saying that? You're not black. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I can't. There was a time when I could look at you and say you're black, and I'm not, because I was brainwashed to believe so.
Exactly.
But we're only a boat stop away in the difference.
Exactly.
And Dominicans still eat a lot of starch, a lot of processed foods, but we don't support each other in any initiative to actually make change. And it seems that when we put out there, I can put out, like just when I put out some merch, I have people from all over Northern Westchester buying stuff.
Right.
But the people that I know or where I live or where I've invested the most, I don't get anything.
Right?
Yeah. So how do you...
Preaching to the choir.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, yeah.
So no, and people will find a reason why not to like you and all that, but they won't find a reason why to come together on. So how do you stay focused on what you on the initiatives that you want, that you're doing, knowing that?
You just continue to do it. Those people that are going to, come on board with your vision and what you see, are the people, and the rest, oh well, you keep it moving.
You gotta close out the white noise.
You can't.
Close out the white noise.
You can't focus on the naysayers. You just continue with your mission, right? What happened with Noah, right? They called Noah crazy.
Yeah.
Right? When he said that the flood was coming.
Yeah, building that ark.
Right.
It was massive.
And what happened? God told him to close the doors, and the rest drowned. Right?
Hello, everybody. This is Aleida Castillo. You're listening to Soul Radio's Culturally Lit on WVOX 1460 on the AM dial. WVOX, a Whitney Global Media station. If you want to call in, 914-636-0110. And we have a special guest, Damon K. Jones, and we're talking about food justice, taking the power back, and start to live a healthy life, even when we don't have necessarily access to those healthy foods.
Right.
I'd have to travel to Whole Foods in Yonkers or White Plains and to get certain things. Now we have Amazon too, so we can order a lot of things that are normally not near us.
Right. But even if
it's more expensive.
Right. But even if you on the lower pay scale, shop wisely.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Go into the local supermarket and shop wisely.
Mm-hmm.
And be creative with what you're making for your children. It's time consuming, right? But what you put into it is amazing what you're going to get out of it with a healthier life. And literally giving your children a healthier life.
Vegetables even cost less, right? Than buying meats and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you know what would be great to see you, and maybe you've already created this, but I would want to see like a menu for a week that's like under
my menu is boring.
$60.
My menu is very boring. right? If you want to go by me, it's just not exciting. It's a salad
Yeah.
or a plate of raw vegetables,
Mm-hmm.
which I make a vegan a vegan dip,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's it, right? I'm boring, you know. When it comes to food, I'm boring. I just started creating dishes for Meatless Mondays, for online, for telling people, look, you know, let's start off the week, one day out of a week,
You will have no meat.
no meat.
You can have the cauliflower that looks like chicken when you.
Yeah, you could do all that. You could, I mean, you could take, you could take what they call it. I can't. I see the vegetable, but I can't think of the name. It's called oyster mushrooms, right? And you could fry them up, and it looks just like chicken wings, right? There's different things. You know, you could take okra, chop it up, put some seasoning on the okra, throw it in the air fryer, and make it into little chips. You could do there's a lot of things you could do.
To eat healthy. Are you frying or are you air frying?
Well, I tried doing the air fry with the oysters. It just didn't come out correct, right? So I had to.
So if you're frying on oil, what oil are you using?
I use vegetable oil.
Vegetable. Is that good oil to use?
It's a decent oil.
Decent oil.
Also, grapeseed oil is very good.
Okay.
You know, grapeseed oil is very good, and it doesn't burn as hard. Grapeseed oil.
So if I'm in Mount Vernon and I'm in a low budget and I want to go to either 4th Avenue or go to, I'd Stop and Shop, and I want to feed my family for a week, and I'm saying, look, we have issues. We have cholesterol. We have risk of diabetes. We don't have access to all those great things that we see on TV. So what do I do? What's the first thing I do?
You go get greens.
Get greens.
Right. You go get kale and spinach. Right. You go get your greens.
The kids won't eat it though.
The kids ain't got no choice, so they starve. Right. You know, we're
didn't
parents.
have a choice.
Exactly. You know, see, we get what the kids don't want to eat.
Yes.
Kids don't pay no bills.
Yes.
Right. So you put the food on the table. If you don't like it, you starve. Right? You have to, but that's culture and condition. There was a commercial which was crazy. There was a Kraft cheese commercial, which dairy is one of the most dangerous things we could ever eat or drink. And the little kid sat at the table with her arms folded, and there was some broccoli on it, and she pushed the broccoli back to her parents. Her parents put that old nasty cheese on it, and the kid was like, yeah.
Right.
No, never.
So let's talk about that because
that's
cheese,
part of the cultural
right.
conditioning. So kids looking and dictating to their parents what they're going to put on their plate.
That's true.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We have to teach our children to eat better, right?
And cheese is not one of them.
No, dairy will kill you.
What does dairy do to the body?
Dairy kills the body. Dairy will give you cancer.
This is proven.
This is proven. You could. There's a report there's a report right online that dairy in the food guidelines is racist because over 70% of black people are lactose intolerant.
Oh shoot, I'm lactose intolerant.
So why are you eating dairy?
I have to eat small, as they say.
But why?
Why?
The question
because I was taught that food tastes better with cheese
exactly,
yeah.
Exactly, because you're culturally conditioned to eat dairy, but we drink it as adults, but cows don't drink their milk when they're adults. So why are we?
So
you ain't never seen a grown cow go to a bowl and drink milk.
They eat grass and water.
Exactly. And the fact that when we feed our children, our babies, milk, it's nothing better than breast milk. But we feed our babies milk. Yeah, we can't do that because there's hormones, right? And then when we as adults drink it, you gotta understand when mammals are pregnant, there's certain hormones that are in the milk, right?
Yes.
Why are we drinking hormones? Because they have to keep the baby, they have to keep that cow pregnant for it to produce milk. This is real talk. See, when I talk about that, you're like, "Oh, I didn't know all that." Yeah, they have to keep that cow pregnant so she can continue to produce milk. And when you're pregnant, there's certain hormones that's in the milk. So now we're grown adults drinking hormones for a baby calf. Then you know what? So you might as well go to the pregnancy ward at the hospital with all the pregnant women and have them all put milk in a glass and let's put it on the dinner table. Ain't nobody gonna drink that.
But breast milk has lactose. Also.
But nobody's gonna drink breast milk at a dinner table. That's my point.
Yeah.
Right? So why would you drink a cow's breast milk if you ain't gonna drink a human's breast milk?
So, there's so much to unpack here. So the what we have been conditioned to eat.
It's based off of capitalism.
Not racism.
Well, racism too, but the money is behind capitalism because, it's not just black folks that are being bamboozled. It is everybody. So you get bamboozled into eating the wrong foods, and then you develop type 2 diabetes, you develop high cholesterol, you develop all this, and then what happens? They give you medication, right? Medication not to cure you, but medication just to calm the symptoms.
That's what my father says, he's having some issues. He says, now I'm going to Dominican Republic because I have realized now that, and he's been always, he eats healthy, but he said, no, I'm going to Dominican Republic. And doctors from here go to Dominican Republic to study medicine. But he said, they're giving me medicine so that I just don't feel sick for a little bit.
Exactly.
But they don't want to cure me.
No. We spend so much money on medication. When only thing we have to do is change our diet.
Eat well. So how do we, so by the way, so if we are being conditioned to eat certain things and it's capitalism, well, slavery began on that same premise of capitalism, right?
Absolutely.
We needed free labor, right?
Absolutely.
Free labor, and then we don't want you to cost us too much to run either because you got to eat like whatever I got left over.
Exactly.
We can't feed you the good stuff.
Exactly.
So then, if we're still in that now, what do we do? What do we do to change that? The only way to do that really is to internally change our own diet if we don't want to go out there and start marching for food justice.
Exactly. We have to change our own diet. And, it's not right. It's not hard. We have to change our mindset in how we look at food. We have to, and then we have to break the addiction, of sugar.
Yeah.
Right? We're addicted to it, but they put sugar in everything.
Right.
You go to McDonald's, sugar's in your French fries. So we have to break that addiction from food, and we have to break the cultural conditioning and how we see food. It's all about how we see food, and we have to try to eat better. I mean, even if it's one day, just take one day. And their studies have shown it. If you ate meat 7 days a week, right, and you cut it down to just 3 days, your body will adjust.
To it
and change and get healthier.
The hardest thing I had to do was give up sugar, because sugar makes me really tired. But I still there's other things that have sugar that I still haven't given up. When we come back, we're going to talk about what should we be eating, and I'm still intrigued by the dairy, effects of dairy, because we do a lot of dairy at home. We'll be right back. Culturally Lit.
So Christian Cunningham said, animal welfare, a key issue, such a glaring problem, all that suffering we wouldn't wish upon our worst enemy on these intelligent creatures.
So we don't want to kill the animals.
They say sugar is one of the legal drugs.
Yeah.
I think there are 5: sugar, caffeine, nicotine, and I forget the other 2.
Now weed. He forgot to mention
okay.
weed.
You know what?
Sugar,
I gotta do a
caffeine,
whole new show,
nicotine.
a show just on weed, man. Everywhere I turn, man, I'm smelling like smoke, like, ooh. Everybody, it seems like everybody's smoking in every corner.
Yeah. But, you know, I mean,
Is that good for you? Is weed good for you?
if you drink it as a tea,
But see, I stopped smoking because they don't smoke what I used to smoke when I was a kid. All this stuff, I mean, when I was a kid.
Well, now they have
all this
to.
Stuff, yeah, but I'm saying a lot of the stuff that was out there got chemicals and stuff in it.
Yeah.
It's got all kinds of, it's not that pure stuff like that. It's like,
Right.
it's chemicals and they go.
no, but now under the law, you're
Yes,
gonna
you
have,
have to
yeah,
be
you're gonna
restricted.
You're
have
gonna
to,
have to.
yeah, it's gonna have to. But you know,
You're gonna have to know what ingredients are and stuff.
you don't
right?
smoke anything that's burnt, right? Because that gets into your system. So you're burning it, and you're putting those ashes into your
Well,
system.
I'm like
The best way
Clinton. I can't inhale for real though.
is the tea. Make a tea,
Yeah,
or put it in food.
yeah.
Make the edibles.
Or invest in it, make money.
Yeah.
I tried edibles. It made me sick.
Or invest in it, make some money.
Well, yeah.
No, seriously, you think I'm playing?
No, I got 30 acres in
And a
North
mule?
Carolina. It's about. I would. Well,
Somebody gave you the.
I got a
They
Cadillac. I ain't
shortchanged
got no
you.
mule. I got a Cadillac.
They shortchanged you. It was
10.
supposed to be 40
Yeah.
acres and a mule.
Yeah, we're about to go into the hemp market, and hopefully North Carolina will come along, and then we'll flip it over into a weed farm. But
They just made it legal in Africa too, so that's big over there in Ghana.
really
Hmm.
interesting.
And it's a lot cheaper to get it going.
I wonder what is the cost, the custom cost to bring it in New York, because now it's legal in New York.
Yeah, so I can connect you with someone that's already in the middle of doing that, and they got all the licenses and everything
Yeah.
to export and having the contact here. He's a musician famous musician who had like something crazy like 800 acres of land out there.
Wow,
Yeah.
you just growing weed
And
on
he
it.
just started
Jesus
to grow.
Christ. That is just disgusting, man. To be out there.
Why? Why? Oh boy.
That's really disgusting.
Why? Hey, listen, I don't do
The
weed.
sad
So.
thing is black people own less property now than they did after slavery.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I'm glad you came on the show. There's so much. You are a wealth of knowledge.
Nah, I mean, the book is just what I found out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Is nothing new, right? It's just information I gathered for myself, for my goal to optimum health and wellness. It's not rocket science. I'm not breaking down no new doors or anything like that. I'm just reminding us.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we need to do. This is what water does to us. This is why fiber needs to be our best friend, right? Why we need to have more fiber in our diet. What is good gut health, right? We need to have good gut health. Some of our guts are twisted up.
I know mine are.
Right.
Shoosh. And then I also noticed too, when you eat well, and you were talking about the brain and what it does with the brain, it's like, as you get older, you seem to get more brain fog.
Right.
I know
because your arteries are clogged, right? And because you're eating the wrong food and your arteries are clogging with plaque, right? Because you're eating fatty food, you're eating processed food, you're eating the meat, and after a while your arteries start clogging. But once you turn and you start eating more fruits, vegetables, leafy greens, drinking a lot of water, that plaque begins to leave your arteries.
And there's a side of, I think AJ was mentioning something about blocking out the noise, right? Because
Right.
we do emotional eating too, right?
Yeah.
If we have things that upsets us, upsets us, then we'll crave sugars and, overeating, or go back to the comfort foods.
Well, that's Exactly. So that's part of looking, how does food, affect your mental clarity, right? How does stress and anxiety play a role in your diet and in what you eat, and how do you get out of that, in eating the right foods? Because some of us, we get stressed out and we go to McDonald's and we're loving it, right?
Yes.
But, exactly.
And I think that food is stored there for months, right? It's like,
Well, I try to stay away. McDonald's is a addictive food,
yeah.
right? Burger King is an addictive food.
Mm-hmm.
All the fast foods are
Addicting.
addictive food. But it's a process. Like everything's a process. It's not nothing. For me to get where I am today was not an overnight thing.
Right.
It was a process of me getting my mind right, me getting out of my mental fog, me understanding that I need to live, and I want to say this here. I want to give peace and blessings and prayers to one of my coworkers, Kevin Seckerson, who was found dead last night.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
And I say that to say that we never know when we're going to leave, but also we have to recognize when we're sick.
Yes.
I love Seth. We had our disagreements and our political disagreements, but we also must recognize when other people are sick, and when we have to address those type of issues, and us keeping our weight down and staying healthy, because we are losing so many people now.
Yes.
And we're talking about vaccination, but we're not
talking about healthy eating.
We're not talking about nutrition.
Yes.
Right? I don't care. You could get the vaccine, but if you're not building your immune system and not eating the right food, that to me, and I'm not a doctor, and
but it means nothing.
To me, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. So we have to really start having a conversation, about nutrition, about healthy eating, about exercising. Look, exercise 15, 20 minutes a day.
Just do something.
That's right. That's all. C.T. Fletcher was a great bodybuilder. He says, do something. Just do something. Can't get mad at anybody just trying to do something. To exercise. If you have a hard time putting the chicken down and putting the steak down, just meatless Mondays. Just do it one day out of a week.
Well, I live in 4 square miles. A city that's 4 square miles. We have 2 McDonald's, 1 Burger King, 1 Popeyes. I think I'm missing something else. We had they shut down.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
No, yeah, but the other one, the
Kentucky Fried Chicken's closed?
No, she said.
Oh, no, we have 2.
Oh.
We have Kentucky Fried Chicken. We have the one that has the checkers. What's it? Checkers? Was it Checkers?
Yeah, that closed.
They closed down. Yeah. So we had more, but they couldn't survive.
Oh, yeah, one.
They were right next to Popeyes. Okay. So we have 2 McDonald's, 2 fried chicken. There's another couple of fried chicken places. We was just on the way over here talking about how soul food restaurants can't really even survive in a predominantly black
88 Jamaican restaurants.
Neighborhood. Yeah. So how do we get stores like Whole Foods or?
Yeah, the stores. First of all, the Whole Foods ain't coming to Mount Vernon.
No, but that's why I say stores like.
Well, I mean, the one part. It's not happening.
No,
part of the problem is the average income is not going to generate a store like that. So if the city is an average income of $45,000, Whole Foods is not looking to come to Mount Vernon.
Not Whole Foods, but a store like Whole Foods say that will offer more vegetables and organic stuff. It's just not. They're not going to come.
It's not going to happen
because it's going to sit there.
Because of the fact that the city does not generate the average income.
Okay, so we got to pay people more.
Well, I don't know how you're going to do that because the city ain't generating jobs. So you have to, I mean, and it's not bringing in people, you know. I wasn't trying to get into this conversation, but you cannot have a city, right, that's not bringing business in.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah, everything, all the money's going out.
Exactly.
And no business coming in.
It has to come in, and when you start bringing business in, then you can see stores like that that's going to come in, you know. But if you're just building, that's why you see dollar stores being built, but you're not seeing anything else being built. So you know, that's the problem with not just Mount Vernon, but black communities throughout the country. You know, I mean, they're still fighting to keep their hospital. Yeah, hospital. A city of black folks with high blood pressure, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, all that is in the city, and you're losing a hospital? So, I mean, we should be code red to eat leafy greens and vegetables. It should be a red light shining on top of City Hall, or a green light, reminding people to eat their leafy greens and vegetables because the services, the healthcare services, is in jeopardy. And the only thing you can combat that is proper exercise and proper nutrition and eating right and having your herbs and other healthy.
Nicole Lucio says the city just passed legislation to allow gas stations to expand to small grocers. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean that they're really going to have leafy greens and vegetables necessarily.
Well, they're going to have processed food and chips and
cheaper stuff that people can afford.
You know, I mean, but that's something that
we could have, if we passed that legislation. I don't know exactly more who's expanding and what they're gonna, but we could have the caveat or the condition that if you're gonna add grocers, you're gonna add more vegetables.
You have to have, you know, you have to have 20-30% or whatever you're developing.
40% vegetables, fresh foods.
Yeah. You could do that. I mean, look, even if you don't have that,
right? This is where we take the power back.
It's still our responsibility, you know, as
to eat healthy.
To eat healthy.
Dairy causes cancer.
Yes.
Cheese.
Yes.
Ice cream.
All that stuff.
Eggs. Is eggs good or bad for you? What is it? Where's the egg situation?
Eggs are chicken.
Eggs are chicken.
So it's just as bad, and it's even worse because it's concentrated chicken. you know, that's it. You know, for lack of a better word,
yes.
Right? It's all the hormones of a chicken, right?
What
Concentrated.
if it's organic egg?
It doesn't matter. It's still a chicken.
Still a chicken.
Like they get around there talking about, well, we fed this chicken with the best, you know, meal or whatever.
It's organic food.
Yeah. So what? It's still a chicken.
Okay.
Right? And it's still a chicken. You just look, even fish.
Fish.
Yeah, right. Fish is high in mercury. Right?
Right,
Even my fish.
Fish.
Even my doctor was like, you know, he was just, I think they call it flexitarian. One of them. It's all different names. I can't think right now. But he said he had to get back off of it and he went back to chicken because his mercury went up.
What?
The Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine.
That's it.
Says.
That's it.
Says that research has linked high fat content.
Go to the mic. He wants you to go to the mic. Just
real quick. We got 1 minute.
Research has linked the high fat content and hormones in milk, cheese, and other dairy products to breast cancer.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I have to give up dairy. I've never had
This
milk.
is the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, PCRM.org.
Right.
All right, so we have, at the end of the show, we're going to come back next Monday, but leave with this. We can do one thing. We can give up dairy. I drink almond milk. I'm going to give up eggs. Ooh, that's a hard one.
Yeah, get almond milk.
I do drink almond milk.
There you
I
go.
just got to give up eggs. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We'll be back. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us online. We've got Nicole Lucio saying food deserts.